Good morning, bedheads. Click. Isn't this mug amazing? I've used it a couple times, but I've never looked at the bottom to see. I just looked today to see how if there was a date on it, and there actually was. Not all mugs have dates on them, but this came from Hallmark in 1988. 1988. I did kind of find it. I found it in Minnesota. It was like it wasn't really an antique shop. It was, it was a secondhand shop, but they had an antique section. And then 1988, that was my freshman year, well, my sophomore year of college. So how great is that? Click. Okay, so today I'm not going to be very political, although the market's doing great. Oh my God. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. The Nasdaq is down like 4.5%, which is that's huge for the Nasdaq. So I am hoping that nobody is in the market. I kind of been talking about it. I talked about it a couple times, how we are not in the market. So actually I am in the market. I put $500 in a short on Tesla. Only because my brother-in-law texted me. He's like, this matches with my morals. And I was like, okay, I'll do that too. So I don't usually short things. So, anywho, so today is interesting. I'm going to actually start with the message today, which I usually don't, right? So I'm going to start with the message today from the spirit guides, what they gave me from the pendulum. Okay. And the pendulum meaning, I have this in the back of my bullet journal. So they spelled out a message for me using this map, okay, which I am working on, I promise. I'll get to it soon. We're going to get the business directory out first, and then I'm going to finish that and the bullet journal that I'm creating, the spiritual bullet journal, like to show you exactly how I'm doing it. So anyways, so I'm going to do the message, and we're going to look at some of the April energy, the April messages. So far, we've decoded 4 of them in other videos. I will pop first video right here and the second video. Well, actually, I'll pop the first one here and the second one right there. And I will put them in the description below as well. Okay, so I think I'll start doing that. When I mention videos, I'll pop them in the description below. Okay, so what I mean by decoding is the spirit guides through the pendulum again they're giving me 8 messages for April. Did I say March? I keep saying March. For April, okay? And we've decoded 4 of them with oracle cards, all right? And it's really fascinating to me because the message 3 and 4, when I got those messages before I decoded them with the group, before we did the oracle cards, I thought for sure they were talking about external events. Okay. Well, the number three. So number 3 is unrest will happen. Okay. And my mind has been so external lately, as we all know, we've all been like, trying to process what's going on, that I immediately thought, oh, unrest will happen in April. Okay. And when we decoded, though, using oracle cards, it came up with something completely different. And I thought, okay, this is interesting. It's interesting. So you guys will probably get tired of me talking about shadow work throughout this month. However, what I'm going to do at Coffee with Karen is just give you little snippets about what I'm discovering and the bigger picture of it. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. So, but this is the Oracle deck again. Actually, this one was one of the decoding decks we used. Did we use this one? Yep, letting go. So the very first message for the month was just stay calm. And we use this deck as one of to give us messages for that. Okay. So that one's come up again this month, which is interesting. So there's like this. So this to me, because this deck has come up a couple times, there's a couple of them have. This is an energy for the month as well. Okay. This is like a message for us, just the idea of letting go. Okay. So that's, I think, a powerful message because it's come up a couple times. Okay. So if you're wondering, with the just stay calm, it's probably, there's a lot of messages actually. Some I'll go through it throughout the month, but you might want to just go watch the first video. I'll put it right here at the very end of this one, just to, so you can hear what all the, how we did that. Okay. And what all the messages are. Okay. So here is the message for today from, which is very interesting. And I'm not taking this as at face value today. Let me explain it, because I think this is different than what they told us 2 days ago, which 2 days ago they said, you are safe. Okay. 2 days ago, well, actually it was on March 1st. Yeah, 2 days ago. So you are safe. And I said, regarding what? And they said, liar. And then I said, what do we need to hear that? Why do we need to hear that? And they said the Hague. And then what about the Hague? And they said coming. Okay, so that was an external message. Okay. But I am getting a shift right now, and I can tell they've been very external. The messages have been very external. If you've been around the channel for Coffee with Karen, you know that the messages over the last couple of months have been very external. Okay. But I can tell because of the shadow work, which I'm calling sacred shadows in the spirit circle. That's really where we're doing the work, okay? It's a little bit more private of a group. I am literally sharing exactly what I'm coming up with in the exercises. So it's quite vulnerable. I'm being very vulnerable, more than I am on the channel. So rather than have, this huge public display, it's happening there, but I will be sharing things, So I am getting, based on the decoding of the message that we did yesterday in part 2. Okay. Again, I'll post it below for April. God, if I keep saying March, just know that I mean April because I've been saying March. I keep saying March. Okay. So for April, unrest will happen. Okay. It became very apparent. Oh, well, let me just finish this. So I tried to get them to say from what? And they said NA. They wouldn't, they just circled. And I said, do you not want to answer that? I said, would you answer that question? And they said, no. Okay. So you are safe from what? And I kind of think like it's your, you are safe. You are safe. Okay. And then how are we safe? Love. Okay. So I did ask that question and they gave me an answer. Okay. So again, we are going to decode you are safe with this deck today. So there are people there, including myself, whoever's watching this today, you've got some messages here that will be helpful for you. Okay. So the fascinating thing is, again, I went into part 2, decoding spirit guides messages for April with the impression this was all external. Okay. Because message number 1 was just stay calm. Message number 2, again, was Jack is coming. Okay, great. Okay. And we actually came up with some really good things from the Oracle decks for that. Okay. But then they said unrest will happen. So of course I naturally thought it was because Jack is coming. And then the 4th message is trust you're supported by God. Okay. But this is what happened when we decoded last night. Okay. Was we got the card, the Hunter. This is what I wrote down. Now, so the reason I like for you to watch that video specifically is because you will get different messages for yourself based on the oracle cards that are pulled. Okay. So this is how I interpreted it. And so this is how I wrote it down here. Okay. In my bullet journal. Okay. So everybody who watched it wrote down their own. That some of them might have been similar. Some people who watched this, the decoding of and got the oracle cards, very well may still feel that that's an external message. Okay. For me, it was clear to me based on the cards that it was an internal message. Unrest will happen. Unrest. Okay. One, because of course, when you do a little bit of digging around on the inside, which honestly, when you see what the messages are, it's really promising. Okay. When you do a little digging around, unrest will happen, you know? And so so this is what I ended up with. And what I ended up doing, well, I'll tell you. Okay, let me see if I can put this in the order that would make the most sense. Okay, so we got the card, the Hunter. Okay, it doesn't matter the deck. You'll have to watch it to see which deck it was. Hunt for your fears and find them. Hunt for your fears and find them was the message. I put in parentheses shadow work. Okay. Just because, again, I'm going to call it sacred shadows because that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm very active in doing this. Okay. So hunt for your fears and find them. This is under unrest will happen. Then a shield maiden showed up. Have a plan and strategy in place. The result of, so now because we had different cards we were pulling, what I did is I put the result, because this was another message in the oracle cards, okay? The result of hunting for your fears and finding them and having a plan in place when, for when you do find those fears, what are you going to do with it, right? That's kind of how I took it. The result will be a burst of magic. So that was a card that we got, a burst of magic. Okay. So the other result card that we got was divine connection, because I had already, the reason I wanted to start doing this, one, because I found it on my bookshelf and it was hidden on my bookshelf and I got very inspired when I found it on my bookshelf. Two, it's becoming very aware to me in my own spiritual journey. I'm way behind many of you here who have been doing this much longer than me, that the more we hunt for our fears and find them and then clear them, basically, we will open up our divine connection even more. So those who are on the channel or in this community, we are, the goal in this community is that we all have our own inner knowing and that we can find our own answers. So I'm the facilitator of the conversation. I'm not here, as you know, unless you're new here, I'm not here giving you answers. I'm facilitating the conversation so that you can find your own answers. Okay. That's my, I don't want to say theory, but that's my, that's just my goal for the channel, is that everybody look for their own intuition and find their own answers. Okay. So, and what we're doing in the community when people leave comments is we're giving encouragement and new ideas to help people to inspire, because I may have an idea like doing shadow work or sacred shadows and you're like, ugh, I'm not going to do that. But you might find other ideas from people in the community, and that's beautiful. So that's because there's so much knowledge and experience here. Okay. So what I'm liking, I've never done this before, is get a message from the spirit guides, use some oracle decks to unpack that, okay, or decode them, and then get some cards. The cards then led to the result. If you do this, this will be the result. So the result of hunting for your fears and finding them, according to the oracles, okay, would be a burst of magic and divine connection. Okay, so which totally makes sense to me. If you've got fears, if you've got hidden fears, because it was hunt for your fears and find them. If you have hidden fears, which we all have stuff it's that shadow stuff. It's the stuff that comes out every day and you're not even really sure why, but there's something in you from, it could be inner child stuff. It could be, it's past trauma. Maybe you thought you dealt with it already on the surface, but down deeper that's still lingering. And if we can clear that, if we can find those fears, if we can hunt for those fears and find them, then we open up more of that divine connection. Okay. So the fourth message was trust you're supported by God. Oh, wait, I did have another one. Let's see. I got a little screwed up in my little squares here. Stepping up. Okay, so was this under stepping up more fully power? Okay, let's just go with trust you're supported by God was the fourth message, okay? And the oracle cards, which actually this one, they wanted me to use 6 oracle decks to decode. So I asked them, I was like, just give me one card because it already was an hour long to decode these 2 messages. And so we only got 1 card per deck. So they wanted me to use 6 decks to decode that one. It's kind of interesting. It was fun. I like using different decks. So trust you're supported by God, heal anger, clear physical and energetic toxins. The result, expansion. Then we got other messages. Stay grounded. The path that scares me the most is the one I need to take. The path that scares me the most is the one I need to take. I might use that as the subject line. Let life move you instead of trying to move life. I love that. I'm going to put that in my, in the section of I have a section for higher spiritual perspective. I'm going to put that in there. The path, well, I really do like the path that scares you the most is the one you need to take. Let life move you. Let life move you instead of trying to move life. The result is stepping up more fully in your power, inner peace. Inner peace comes with being divinely yourself. And you can be divinely yourself when you are, have cleared some of this stuff. So it's just very interesting how I went into that thinking, and I thought, okay, this is good for me because we all have bias, right? We can't help it. We have unconscious, we have conscious bias. And I went into that thinking I was going to get cards about civil unrest, essentially. And I didn't. It was very clear what the messages were. I went, oh, okay, I'm listening. So, yeah. And so you can go into the comments of those videos and see what others took away from, okay? Because that's what's so beautiful about the community conversation is I love reading. I just, buzz through. I take a lot of pictures of things too. But I love reading the comments because it gives me different perspective as well. So you are safe. You are safe. Okay. Which this means to me, because of what I just talked about, you are safe to hunt for those inner fears and find them. You are safe. You are safe. And I think this is where they're wanting us to go, because that's where my intuition is taking me, which is then facilitating the community this way. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at You Are Safe using this. Now I am going to do a pick 3 again, but this will be even faster than the one I did yesterday because these cards it's not a booklet. So it'll be quite quick to do a pick 3. Pick 1, actually, is what they're called. So what I'm going to do, so right now, if you want to take a deep breath, close your eyes for a minute and just see if you get a card, 1, 2, or 3. Is there anything that inspires you? 1, 2, or 3. Okay. If you didn't get a number, don't worry about it. What you might get a message from all 3 of these cards. I might too. I just got a 1. And so, but I might, there might be something on all 3 that pertain to me. But we are going to ask for a little decoding about You Are Safe. Okay. So that's where our focus is. Okay. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, and all of those of the purest and highest light. And I ask Archangel Michael to please protect this channel so it is also of the purest and highest light. Amen. Okay. So, you guys, so for those who are watching this now and in the future, could you please tap into their spirit teams? And let's just collectively get messages from all of our spirit teams together, please. So, for those who picked number 1, card number 1, which message do you think is best for us at this time for today? What message do you want us to have for card number 1? And we're talking, we want specific messages about you are safe. You are safe. Okay. They're looking for it. They're like, you're not there yet. Oh, there we go. Oh, just fell. Oh, okay. Let's see if that might be card number 2. I had this one fall. I'm going to leave this one for card number 1. I will ask. So the card number 1 on the right, is that the card you wanted for those who picked number 1 regarding you are safe? Yes. Is the other card for group number 2? Yes. Okay. All right. So group number 3. Group number 3. All right. Regarding you are safe. So all the spirit teams for group number 3, what message do you want them to have for you are safe? They really did pop those other 2, so I'm gonna wait for that. Okay, I feel some movement. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's just see if this is the one. Otherwise, it might be the next one on top. Okay, so for group number 3, am I crooked, you guys? You guys are sitting on pillows, so you can move around. Okay, group number 3, is that the card you want them to have? Yes. Okay, what about the one down there in the orange and yellow? No. Okay. All right, very good. So let's see. So these will be good messages for today. Letting go about you are safe. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to get a pen out. So I would get a pen out if I were you guys. If you wanted to, write some stuff down. And I am going to put this actually in my... I find if I don't do this with you right now, I get a pile up of oracle messages, and then sometimes I forget what they are, and then I miss the opportunity. Because I do so many of them, I get a pile up. So I am good. Look my March. I didn't do that well filling in my March. So I'm going to do better filling in my April. Okay. So then I'm going to use the messages that I'm getting here for card number 1. I'm going to use purple today. Okay. All right. So number one. Our higher self, which we might say is the composite of our higher feelings, has also unlimited capabilities. Okay, so you are safe. Okay, so you have unlimited capabilities, because essentially we are our higher selves. I mean, we are a component of our higher selves. I mean, if we stop thinking of ourselves as less than our higher selves, we are our higher selves, right? I mean, I don't know. You tell me what you think about that. So our higher self, which we might say is the composite of our higher feelings, that's interesting, has almost unlimited capabilities. So that's interesting. Rather than seeing ourselves as just a component of our higher selves, it is the composite of our higher feelings. Higher feelings. So we have lower feelings and higher feelings. I haven't thought about it like that before. It can create employment opportunities. It has the power to create the opportunity for loving relationships, financial opportunities, and physical healing. Okay, so you are safe, I think, to go for the higher feelings, to feel unlimited. You are safe to do that. We are safe to do that. We are safe to believe that we are as powerful as we are, as powerful as our higher selves. That's kind of how I'm interpreting that. How are you interpreting it? Okay. So, all right, I'll write it down later. It'll take me a while. All right. That's kind of what I'm going to write down, though. Okay, so I'm always trying to decide which one to read first. I think it's this bigger. All right, so number 2, my group number 2. Start the day by surrendering your thoughts and feelings about your expectations. Picture the way you would like it to go and let go of all negative thoughts that would interfere with things going that way. Very cool. Letting go. You are safe. You are safe. So there's no reason, is what this is telling us. We are safe. There's no reason to hang on to those things that won't basically serve you, right? Start the day by surrendering your thoughts and feelings about your expectations. I love the idea of like letting go of attachments. That's sort of a newer spiritual concept for me that I'm really continuing to play with. And that's kind of what that's saying. So then at the end of the day, sit down and surrender anything that came up that you overlooked or didn't have time to pay attention to. This is called cleaning up, which may help you sleep better. Oh, I love that. At the end of the day, sit down and surrender. You don't even have to write down the stuff. Just surrender to anything that came up that you overlooked or didn't have time to pay attention to. Oh, let's call that cleaning up, you guys. Let's use that in the community from now on, cleaning up. So I'm getting messages from both of these. I mean, Okay, number 3, group number 3. Enlightenment is not something that occurs in the future after 50 years of sitting cross-legged, which I'm doing right now, and saying, it is right here in this instant. Again, you are safe. You are safe to be enlightened. You are safe to trust. If this is your very first day of being in this community, of doing any kind of spiritual work, you are enlightened, and it's right here, right now. You're not, you are. You don't have to honestly do anything. You just have to understand, right? And have that belief that enlightenment is not something that occurs in the future. Okay. The reason you're not experiencing this state is because it is being resisted. Let go clinging to what has just occurred. Let go trying to control what you think is about to occur. Then you live in an infinite space of non-time and non-event. There is an infinite peace beyond description, and you are home. Oh, wow. That's powerful. That is powerful. Let go of clinging to what has just occurred. Let go trying to control what you think is about to occur. Then live in that infinite space. I have to say, lately, because F45 has challenged me so much to go inward and to go into this space, this spiritual space, I have to say, even with the tariff thing yesterday, and he came out and did the announcement, and my husband's like, "Oh, we should watch it." I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care. I don't have any control over what that's going to do. And I'm not going to sit and worry about what it's going to look like because, first of all, he keeps changing his mind anyway. So, he's playing games with our minds, basically. It's psychological warfare. And I just don't even care. It's amazing that I have come to this place. Now, does that mean I'm not taking action? No, absolutely not. Is that, I am definitely paying attention and I'm encouraging, here, by the way, you guys, just a reminder that April 7th through the 14th, thank you for someone in the community for mentioning in the comments yesterday, April 14th through the 7th through the 14th is the no buy at Sam Walton's place. okay, at Walmart. Okay, so if you can, I know some people live in a community where that's their only option and you just do the best you can. Maybe shop before and after if you want to, you know. But it is actually, I heard a report yesterday. I might be slightly off on the numbers, but my understanding is they're down already. So it's almost like they don't even need to, we almost don't even need to do a full week protest on them because they're getting the hint. Walmart, um, what would we call it? Finance report. Finance report. I swear I heard it was like they were down. Oh, that's not going to be the right. I swear they were down. I want to say like 22 billion or something. I mean, I could be wrong about the billion. It might be million. So that's why now I sound ridiculous, but it was a lot, put it that way, just in 2 months. Just in 2 months. So they're getting the hint. Okay. So, anyways, yeah. So even though I'm sitting here like, you know what I've really gotten used to is not giving F45 any attention. I thought, well, I'll find out from Tabitha Speaks Politics. Excuse me. Or I'll go on to Ground News and find out. But I don't want to give him, I don't want to watch him specifically, ever. I don't want to give him that attention because he just gets me all riled up anyway. So, okay. So what do you think? What did you get out of this? Anything helpful? What did you need to hear today? What I realized, the last thing I wanted to mention, what I realized with the shadow work. So I'm on exercise number 2. I need to do one more exercise today before I record in the spirit circle. Actually, I need to divide all these up by the number of days we have so we can get through the book by the end of April. So what I realized is that I have one, and you guys probably know what it is because I mention them all the time. Not all the time, but every once in a while. I realized that I have there is one shadow I'm going to be working on through this entire book. And that is my father. It's my relationship with my father. So it's not the relationship with my father. It's the feeling. Okay, so let me just clarify. The adult Karen has dealt with that. The adult Karen is totally fine, and has dealt with the relationship, okay, in a way that I feel very comfortable. But my inner child is still hurt. And I know that because when I was doing number 2, when I started exercise number 2, I almost started crying. So I thought, okay, my inner child is still hurt. There's still feelings. So I am hoping that, well, I got another workbook. If I don't hunt for that, what my inner child needs to feel safe. If I can't figure that out, if that doesn't come to light within this workbook, I got another one. So, but that I realize I'm going to work on one. It doesn't have to be a gazillion things because that's really the only thing that's just like in my craw, it's my inner child is just like, yeah. And it really, honestly, it came up, it's just shame. My inner child just feels shame for just the whole scenario. And it doesn't matter what the scenario is. It's dealing with the shame. It's what's with the shame. Where did that come from? So like this, she has a trigger log, and that's what I wrote down. Shame. What's the feeling? Yeah. And so it's really unpacking the shame. It's not even unpacking the situation. I mean, maybe it is. We'll see. But it's what's with the shame. And I'm excited because if I can resolve that, my inner child shame, then I can stop reacting to things as an adult that I feel shame about. That has nothing to do with what's actually occurring now. It has to do with what's occurred then. And I think that's the whole idea, is that if we deal with what's happening, what our inner, I'm just going to keep saying inner child, it has dealt with, and we haven't been able to help our inner child as adults feel. An inner child could be like when you were 30, if you're 50 now, and when you were 30. I don't even think of it as I just think, let's just say, our earlier selves, We could say that, our earlier selves. And I'm not an expert, I'm not a therapist. I am so grateful. We do have a therapist in the community that I saw her comment. I think it was a her. And she said, well, I'm a therapist and this is a really good, the way you're doing this is really good. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for that. So that was very encouraging. So, okay, well, I will see you tonight. We are doing part 2 of Anonymous. You guys had lots of questions about Anonymous. If you've missed part 1, I will go ahead and post it here and right at the end of this and in the description below. Okay? All right. Have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.